Hello students, I welcome you all for this wonderful video lecture series on problem solving using C++. Today our topic is constant member functions. The last class we had discussed what is class and how we are defining member function, right? And member function is also defined two ways, inside the class and outside the class. Everything we had discussed in the last video lecture series. Today we are going to discuss about constant member function. Before going to have a discussion, I introduce myself. I'm Shankar. I'm working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, RMD Engineering College, Chennai. Let's go for the video lecture on constant member function. Let us see the intro. What is constant member functions? The constant member functions are the functions which are declared as constant in the program, and the object called by these functions cannot be modified. Constant member functions are the functions which are declared as constant in the program. The object called by these functions cannot be modified because the name itself is there, constant. Constant means doesn't change. So these types of functions cannot be modified. And it is recommended to use the keyword called const. The constant member functions are recommended to use the keyword called const so that accidental changes to the objects are avoided. When we are using the functions with the keyword const, the changes to the objects are avoided, are restricted, right? And the constant member functions can be called any type of object. Once again, I'm remember, right? The constant functions can be called any type of object, but non-constant functions can be called by non-constant object, right? Let's see the difference. The const member functions can be called any type of object. Non-const functions can be called by only non-const objects, right? It means non-constant. Let us see the syntax for declared definition of constant member function, even how we are defining a constant member function inside the class, outside the class. That's actually we are going to discuss here. The first I'll change the color because it helps you to vary it, right? Is right. First we'll see how we are declaring function inside the class. This function declaration, you should remember how we are declaring constant member function within the class, right? It should have return type. Return type in a sense, any valid data type like void or float, whatever it may be, right? Our next function name maybe I'm using here display as the function name. I simply call it as this open parenthesis, close parenthesis, followed by the keyword called const, followed by the keyword called const. Right, this is function declaration. It must be ends with the semicolon. Here it is not mentioned actually. The declaration must be ends with the semicolon. Right. So what's the function declaration for constant member function? It should have return type. Return type is any valid data type, whether it may be integer, float, void, character, whatever it may be, followed by the function name, right? Followed by the function name and followed by the keyword called const. Ends with a semicolon as the declaration is over. You need to define the function. Once you declare the function, it should have the definition, right? The definition may be inside the class or outside the class, right? So let us see the syntax for the constant member function definition within the class. Within the class in the sense, it should have return type. Return type is void. And next followed by the function name. Function name I have used here, display. And followed by the keyword called const, that is const is a keyword, but it should not have any semicolon. So here you should not use semicolon. Right after that, you should open brace and you should have a close brace. In between, you should define your function. That is the body of the function. This is for function definition within the class definition. Okay, what's the next one? Function definition outside the class. Function definition outside the class. How it is? Return type. What is return type? Void, whatever it may be. Any valid data type. Followed by class name, scope resolution operator, function name, and the keyword called constant. You should have open brace and close brace. Inside open and close brace, you should have body of the function. Right? So initially we have function declaration syntax. Next we have definition class for within the class definition, and next we have a class definition, sorry, function definition constant member function for outside the class. Right? I hope you understand the difference how we are defining inside the class and outside the class. Okay, let us see the example. Here, these two lines we know very well, right? I change the pen color. Right here, we know this two lines very well because of ANSYS. We have included here IO stream. We have avoided .h and we have used include the statement called using namespace std. Okay, class name is called the demo. Class is a keyword. Class name is demo. We have a data member called val, and demo is a constructor, right? Because the class name and function names are same. If the class name and function names are same, and it does not have any return type, then we can call it as constructor. By default, the x value is initialized as 0. That 0 is assigned to val. This is actually default parameter. It means that if you're not pass any value to the parameter x, automatically the value is initialized as 0. If you assigned any value like 10, 15, then that time the 10 or 15 is assigned to val. If you're not assigned, by default it assigned as 0. If you assign, that value stay assigned to val, right? That is actually default, this statement. Okay, next you just compare the syntax inside the definition. This is actually inside the definition, right? What's the syntax? Return type, function name, open, close braces, parenthesis, const keyword, open and close braces, right? You just see return type. Return type is over. Next, function name is over, right? And next keyword called constant, that is also over. And next open brace, close brace. In between we have returned the value, right? Is you just see here again we are creating constant object. For creating constant object, you should use the keyword called const before the object declaration, right? Yes, const. Demo is the class name, d is object name. See here I have passed the value called 28. So now this x value is 28. So 28 is assigned to val. Value have now 28. Whenever you are calling the object called d, the value of val is 28. See, this is normal object declaration. This is not constant object. The D is constant object because the object declaration is preceded with const. But in this D1 object declaration, it does not have any keyword called preceded the keyword called const. So it is normal object declaration that is called D1. Right? So now I have passed here 8. So what's the value of x now? Is 8. Suppose if you declare another object, for example, demo, right? Oh, 1 minute. My handwriting may not be good with this pen. Please be adjust. So now I have created another object called demo d2. I have called look like this. See, for these two objects, I have passed some value, right? What's the value? 28, 8. What happened for D? I have passed 28, so the value of VAL is 28. For D1, I have assigned 8, so the VAL value is 8 because x takes 8, that x value is assigned to val. But here, I have not given anything. Just it is demo D2. Then what happened? Yes, like such a statement has taken the value 0. That is default value. Now, whenever you are calling the D2 object, this value is 0. Right? That's the difference between this default parameters and normal parameters. Right? Yes. So now we have stay out statements. The value using object D. D dot get value. It comes here. D dot get value. What's the value of D, that is val, because it returns val. While calling D, what value we have passed? 28. So the first output is 28. Similarly, D1 dot get value is 8 because for D1 we have given here is 8. Suppose if you have another statement called cout, the value using object D1, again cout operator, D2 dot get value, that won't happen. value of d2 is 0 because here we have not passed any value, right? Yes. uh, Dear students, thank you very much for watching this video lecture on constant member function. Also, here I have not included that outside the class definition. Actually, outside the class definition is nothing. You just see the syntax, right? You declare the function inside and you define this function statement here outside the class because the class definition is up to this, right? So if you define the same function as per the syntax, return type, what is return type as of this integer, next followed by class name, what is class name demo, and next scope resolution operator, function name is get value, and const that should be defined this all statement outside the class, then it becomes outside the class definition for the constant member function, right? I hope you all have an idea about const member functions through this video lecture. uh, I thank you all for watching this video lecture series on constant member function. Thank you all.